Happy Wednesday, my friends. Happy Hump Day. Welcome to the Daily Creative Challenges in Adobe Illustrator. My name is Julia Vaca. I see a lot of lovely people, and Fergie, great to see your face too. Just finished up the stream. So cool. Fergie is a good friend of mine. We met on Instagram, so it's great to see familiar faces here on Adobe Live. Welcome, Carol, Uma Korn, and Fabio's here. Wade is here, and Katarina is joining. Welcome, everybody. So, friends, today is going to be a super fun challenge in Illustrator. We are going to be making a luxury spa flyer. And for all of you who have not been joining us for the past challenges, this challenge series goes from Monday through Friday, so it's 5 challenges. And all of these challenges are related to exploring different design styles in Adobe Illustrator, right? So on Monday we had started off with some minimalistic design. Then on Tuesday we did some antique design, and today we're going to be doing a luxury design. So let's jump right into this, and everybody who's joining us from YouTube, make sure to head over to be.net/Adobe Live. This is where I'm reading the chat, and this is where you can ask questions and come say hi to our Adobe Live family. So we are here on behance.net/challenge/Illustrator. This is where you can read everything about the Daily Creative Challenge in Illustrator. And we have a little description here on how it works. The community chat will connect you to our Discord channel where you can submit your challenges. And as I was saying, yesterday we were doing some antique design for an antique market. And look at this. I mean, Mirela Day has created this amazing poster. How cool is that? It's so Western and antique. And we've been looking into texture, looking into kind of creating retro paper style for our posters. So feel free to check out yesterday's challenge as well. It's this one right here, and you can click get started, download the file, and go from there, rewatch the video. And the same thing you can also do for the minimalist design that we did on Monday. So today's challenge is right here as well. You can click get started and get the starter file that I've prepared for you. And it's going to be, as I said, a luxury spa flyer that we're going to be creating using the Pathfinder tool. And some of you know the Pathfinder is one of my favorite tools, so I'm going to show you some of the tricks that you can do with that. So first things first, I would love to share with you how to actually explore luxury fonts and how to find luxury fonts. What are actually luxury fonts? What defines it? And for that, I like to go, for example, on Behance and look for projects that have to do with luxury, or I look at brands that I think are luxurious, right? And once you start looking at it, you'll see specific things and details that will help you identify the style and translate it into your project. Right, so in this case we have multiple options. We have a luxury style that's quite minimalistic, and a luxury style that's a little bit more decorative. And in this case, for example, we have Group Mercure project that you can take a look at, and you can see here we have a very refined typeface that's quite light, and it's very into detail, right? Luxury brands have to do with quality, right? So in the luxury design, you want to show quality, you want to show the attention to detail, and that's how you can identify the right typography, the right colors, and all of that. So being refined can, for example, be by adding details, like here in the typography we have little details that make this typeface very specific and very unique, right? Another example that I wanted to share with you is if we take a look at another type of luxury brand. For example, let me see. So I want to show you here, for example, Abel Interiors. Here we have a serif font that's also very fine and very detailed. We have colors that look like gold almost. We have cream tones, everything that looks very refined and high quality, right? And in the same way, we can also use appearance of materials that are very high quality. For example, wood, marble, any material that's maybe not so accessible can be described as a luxury material and can be used in your design. Another thing that we notice here, for example, we have a serif font, which is this font up here, and we have a script font, so a combination of these two. And we see that very often in luxurious designs, that very refined fonts are being combined with a script font that almost looks like a signature of somebody, right? And that gives this feeling of, personality. Somebody is behind this brand. It's not just a very clean, perfectly designed brand, but there is maybe a signature or somebody who really gives this confirmation of quality and stands behind it, right? So it's kind of taking responsibility for the brand. So this is how you can kind of look at defining a luxurious brand identity. Here we have some really good examples of colors. We have this we have a lot of off tones, so tones that are not 100% something, right? So this tuatara gray might look black at first, but really it's a very fine line between a completely 100% black tone and something that's slightly off, that's more into the charcoal direction. Then we have this really nice warm beige, which is not 100% white, right? So somebody was really thinking into detail, what exactly is the type of white that I want to show in this design. And here gold, of course, we always associate with luxury, with high quality materials, right? Gold is a very high quality material, and it's not very much accessible to everybody, right? And here we can see in the background, this designer is using a marble texture to show this connection between the typography and the material, right? So that's something to look at. And when kind of looking for inspiration, look at these aspects. How does another designer use these fine little definitions, these fine little aspects to make something look luxurious, right? If we look, for example, in this example here, we have this very refined kind of iconography going on inside the logo. The lines are very fine and very subtle and very, let's say, very elegant, right? And when talking about luxurious branding, we see a lot of colors that are off tones. So again, I was talking about this black that's almost like a charcoal color. Then we have this blue that has a lot of different other tones in it. So it's not like 100% cyan blue. It's a blue that has facets to it. That's way more rich and way more has a lot more to it than just plain 100% color. So we have some grays in here. I can see we have some greens a little bit maybe. So this one goes more into the teal color. And again, we have a lot of play with gold and something that looks more like an off-white. So these are just a couple examples of how you can actually identify a style. And we are looking at colors, we're looking at typography, we're looking at materials or the way the design is stylized, right? And in any case, not only in a case of luxury, but also maybe if you're looking for something retro or for something modern, just take a look at some projects and some things that appear in this style to you, and really observe how's the typography used, how's the color used, how's the material used, how is it stylized, how are things put together, how's the layout. And that's how you can get inspiration without without limiting yourself to looking at one specific project, but more of just looking at the aspects of a specific style, right? So that's just one tip. Another tip, we have fonts.adobe.com, where you can actually get inspiration on typography and activate your fonts within your Creative Cloud subscription. Right, so yesterday we were looking at fonts that were looking more antique, and today we're going to be looking at fonts that are either very clean or luxurious. We also have the tag right here, very specific to luxury. So let's take a look at that, and let's take a look at what we will end up getting. And as you can see, we get a lot of these amazing, beautiful, refined fonts that are serifs, that are very fine line, that have a variety of fine and bold line. Like, for example, here in this serif, we have, it's called Fright. We have a variety of fonts that are part of this typeface that look very luxurious, all of them, right? So you can even combine the Pro Light and Light Italic together. So this is where you can get some font inspiration for your project. And in the same way, we can also use a clean font within a luxury brand. A clean font that's quite refined as well. And by refined, what I mean is that it's, it has very precise edges, and it has very precise shapes, and everything is very much paid attention to, right? As opposed to a more friendly brand where it's more rounded and the edges are not precisely a specific degree and sharp, but more so rounded, right? And that will give a different feel than a luxurious typeface. All right, so we have that, and this is the file that I have prepared for you, and I think this is a beautiful font combination that you can get yourself from Adobe Fonts. And once you open the file, it might ask you to activate these two fonts that I have already activated on my computer from Adobe Fonts. And these fonts are Neue Haas Grotesque and this beautiful hand-written script font is called Compendium, right? And Compendium is just a beautiful font. And even if you want to use that font not for the ampersand, but maybe for a letter, I can show you this font is amazing. So for example, if you have a brand name that's starting with a W, right? In my case, it's Winston and Bennett, just a made up name for my salon and spa, a luxury spa. You can definitely make up your own name, and this font Compendium is a really great font for us to literally create anything, any logo that's supposed to look luxurious. So even if I were to take this and put that together, that will work as well. And here I could, for example, just extend this line and create a connection between a letter mark and the word mark, right? So I can go, for example, and do something like this just to plainly improvise and show you how easy this actually is. And I'm going to sample this color from my font here, so I can create a line that's exactly the same color. And as you can see, we are playing with this golden looking color tone. So now I'm going to decrease it just a little bit, maybe 0.75, like so. And just to give you a very, very kind of plain example of how you can create a connection between a letter mark and a word mark. But you don't have to, this is just an example. Okay, so our flyer, and talking about flyers and talking about information that goes on a flyer, we will definitely have to add some more into this. And you can see I have added a color palette into the starter file, and it's this beautiful gold looking color tone. And if you look at this, it kind of almost looks yellowish once it's next to the green, but once we put it on the blue tone here, it does look way more gold for some reason. I think it's just because our color perception is associating colors in a specific way, so that the color can appear different on different backgrounds. All right, hi Quentin, welcome. Richard is joining us, and Felix is here, Lorenzo is here, Arshad, so many lovely people. Awesome. So we have our flyer, and what I would like you to do is to add a brand name here. So please double click into this and add your made up name. You feel free to use this ampersand to create yourself a letter mark for your brand. In my case, I'm just going to keep it this way. And talking about typography, Neuhaus Grotesque is a very amazing, minimalistic, luxurious looking font, but it will look even more luxurious if you use it in combination with the script that we have here. So my recommendation is to use a combination of script font like this one and a sans serif, or you can also use a very light serif with this in combination. And by serif, what I mean is it's a font that has edges, that has the serifs. And let me give you an example. For example, here, Idealist Regular, if we compare these two together, you can see that the letter N up here does not have any serifs. So this is called a sans serif font. Let me make this red so you can see. So this is called a sans serif font because it does not have these little edges. They're called serifs, right? So this is a sans serif, and sans in French means without, sans, if I pronounce it right. So sans serif is this one, and this one is with serif, right? So serif and sans serif, this is a quick kind of learning moment for you to learn about serif versus sans serif. And fonts that look like they're handwritten, they're called script fonts. All right, so what information are we missing on our flyer, And one thing that I would say what we can do is we can add an image into our flyer. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to push this a little bit to the top. And what we can do is we can definitely draw something in here that we think kind of works with this brand. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Option, click and drag, and this will be kind of my symbol for my brand, kind of like like a brand icon that I can use for my brand. And I'm going to click Command Shift and O to outline this, and then I'm going to make this really large just so I can use it in the background. And I think this is a really nice kind of touch that almost looks like a stamp, and so I'm thinking to use that right here. And what I can do is, even if I kind of change the background, I can cut this ampersand into the background shape. And how I do that is I select the ampersand, which is the end character, and holding Shift, I'm clicking on the background, and then we're getting into the Pathfinder. So the Pathfinder, you can find either in your properties panel. If you don't have that active, you can go into Window and activate Pathfinder, or activate the properties panel, but we can go here into Pathfinder, so we have that specific window. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. It's on my other screen. It disappeared on me, but here it is. Here's the Pathfinder, and what the path. Let's actually go here into the shape modes and see what actually we can achieve with the Pathfinder. And with the Pathfinder, we can either divide objects from each other, which means the objects literally cut their paths into each other and get combined in that way. Then we also have something that's called trim. So you can trim an object by overlaying it with another object. Then we can merge the objects, we can crop the objects, we can outline the objects together, and we can minus back. Here we also have exclude, so that means if we overlap two circles, the exclude, the overlapping portion is getting removed. Then we have the intersect, which is creates an intersection, which only leaves, let's say we have two circles, only leaves the portion that where the circles connect, where they overlap each other. So it's the opposite basically of exclude. And then we have minus front. So if we want to cut something in, like in this case, we can cut in the ampersand into the background. And that's what I already did. And you will notice that by me editing the background, which is behind this blue background. So whenever I change that background, you can see that the ampersand also changes with it. Right? And the reason why it's now in the foreground is because I cut those shapes into each other, so they acting as a group. Okay, so let me push that a little bit back. So we have our logo back in the front here. And now what I can do is I can go in and change the background by using the eyedropper, and maybe I can select one of these colors that I already have here. So why not using this really cool green, so that my ampersand kind of goes more into the background. And here we're typing what type of product it is, and in this case we have a salon and spa. Richard is saying L'heure bleue. Maybe it's the name of the color, could be, but any specific rules for typography? Aquil is asking. Specific rules for typography, I was just mentioning actually, so if you replay this you will hear. So the combinations, I would say, are the main rule here for creating a luxury style. But another thing that you should notice is also when creating a flyer, you want to create a hierarchy of information, right? So in this case, we have a logo, we have a description of the product, which is salon and spa, and then we can also create another text box that will describe what this flyer, what is actually the information that's supposed to be on this flyer. And we can write something out. We can say, let's say, Winston and Bennett is inviting you to a holistic spa. Just make up your own kind of copy for this, whatever fits into the context. Winston and Bennett is inviting you to a holistic spa treatment, or holistic spa weekend. Why not? Weekend to relax and unwind, something like that. I'm just literally making things up. So now I'm going to change the size of this a little bit, and now you can see that my letters, so my kerning is really spread. That means the letters are really far from each other, and I want to change that. I'm going to go into 0, and here I have now my little text that has something to say, right? And in the same way, I can, add some copy into this. Winston Bennett is inviting you to a holistic spa weekend to relax and unwind. And in this case, I might even go in and select another font that will be kind of supporting my font combinations. And in this case, I might go even for a serif I1 old style, for example. Yeah, so this is kind of a way to put this together. And another thing to look at is what's the hierarchy, right? As I was saying. So in this case, what I would do is I would probably make that a lighter font so it's easier to read, and our logo is kind of in the background, and I'm gonna make that also a darker color, maybe also the gold. Something like this. Winston and Bennett is inviting you to a holistic spa weekend to relax and unwind. And then we're gonna put let's say a website, right? Because there needs to be a call to action, right? Each flyer will have to have a call to action, and it's either maybe a phone number or an email address, or anywhere you can book the session. So yeah, that information is very crucial, because otherwise this flyer does not make any sense. So www.winstonbennett.com. Now we can make this, of course, slightly smaller smaller size, because we want everybody to concentrate on this information, and the secondary information after that would be the contact information. So I'm going to make that slightly smaller, and it's all about kind of having this hierarchy going, and using typography that's very refined and kind of well thought through. So we have that, and what I would like to do is I would actually like to use this very minimalistic font for this, and I'm going to choose 18 again, center align, and now what we have is we have this really cool flyer, and you can take your time and go into stock.adobe.com to look for some imagery, maybe to put into the background. Let's see if we can find something really quick. And you can also, oops, I misspelled this. Okay, there we go. And what we can also do is we can look for marble, for example, right? A marble texture to put into the background. So we can definitely do that free with, okay, so I'd have to log in. But you can definitely use that for a background texture. And I think that could be a good way to even increase this feel of luxury, right? Okay, so we have our flyer. Winston & Bennett is inviting you to a holistic. And by the way, really quick, if you want to remove these, the hyphenation on this, you can go into the character, you can go into settings, and wait, let's see now. It's actually right here, I think, in the paragraph settings. Yeah, hyphenation, and then remove that so that your words will no longer be divided. And kind of divided into the lines. Okay, so now we have our flyer, and I would like you to export the flyer and post it into our Discord channel by going to File, Export, and then make sure to select the artboard and export your flyer. Cool, friends. winstonbennett.com, my flyer is ready. Feel free to add more detail, feel free to add more assets to it, feel free to add imagery to kind of support the luxury spa feel. But what do you think? I think we've pretty much achieved the feeling of luxury, of being, refined, a refined brand. And as I said, it's all about kind of looking at the different aspects of a style and really kind of analyzing a design, and then seeing that as an inspiration, and looking at similar fonts, similar colors, and so on. So friends, I will see you in the Discord channel, bit.ly/AI Discord, and I'm looking forward to your submissions. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.